Hello everyone, and welcome to the Pisces Guide to Pop Culture. Now, it's been a while since I've talked about The Hobbit, so I thought I would return because it's very much fun to talk about it. And we, of course, get to one of my very favorite chapters in the book, where Bilbo finally comes face to face with the great and terrible Smaug, the Magnificent, the dragon. That's the really part I'm going to focus on for my little spiel about this chapter today, because I just think it is so delightful. It is everything I love about The Hobbit. It is, as scholars such as Tom Shippey and Michael Droud have pointed out, the meeting of the sort of quotidian and the bourgeois burglar with the epic dragon, who is, nevertheless, a very skilled and very, he knows how finances work. And so I think that the play between Bilbo and Smaug is really so pivotal to this novel. It really is kind of a subversion of what we think of as the sort of hero's encounter with a mighty dragon like this. It's one of a battle of wits, one that Bilbo does not necessarily entirely win, because he doesn't really quite grasp that, dragons are much wilier than most people would assume, and Smaug is more wily than most. And I think that Smaug makes for a terrific villain. This is a creature, after all, who has devoured humans, who has devoured ponies, and R.I.P. the many ponies that the dwarves managed to lose in this book. But he is a monstrous creature who is nevertheless quite captivating to read and to spend time with, even though we know, of course, that he's capable of horrible acts and is, truly a bad being. Nevertheless, you can't help but love him, or at least enjoy his repartee with Bilbo. And I do think that, this is another of those key moments where Bilbo reveals that there's more to him than meets the eye, that, when it comes down to it, he is able to face down a dragon. Admittedly, he's invisible, but if you think about how far he's come from the beginning to actually have this conversation at all with a creature of Smaug's magnificence, if you will, and just the sort of stupefying terror that you can imagine a little hobbit from the Shire facing when confronting one of the mightiest dragons left in Middle-earth, is really quite extraordinary. And like I said, the conversation is very witty, it's fun, it's fast-paced, so it has the patter that we associate with The Hobbit as a book, but also tremendous stakes, as is revealed, when Smaug shows that he is, when it comes down to it, a creature of fire and death. And so I very much enjoy this. This is always sort of the chapter I look forward to reading the most, just because, again, it is all the meeting of these different narrative and thematic strands that we've seen developed throughout the novel, sort of come together in this beautiful whole, and this fateful encounter that will change Bilbo forever, and as it turns out, will change the fate of both the Lonely Mountain and Esgaroth. So, I think there's just, as always, so much to enjoy about The Hobbit, so seemingly simple, but yet so rich and thematically resonant and, just textured as it is. And of course, anyone who knows Tolkien knows that as it is. But it's always good to sort of remind ourselves of why we love Tolkien. Anyway, that's all for that. So thanks so much for joining me here at the Pisces Guide, and I hope you have a good evening. Take care, y'all.